Hello guys and welcome back. This is JT Miller entering the locker room of the Vancouver Canucks for the very last time, just minutes before it is official that he's traded to New York Rangers. JT Miller decided to waive his no-move clause and he's on his way to the team that originally drafted him many years ago. And guys, we all knew that this was coming. We all knew about the rift between Pettersson and JT Miller. And Elliotte Friedman reporting on numerous occasions that actually JT Miller wanted to go to Eastern US. And he got his wish, he waived his no-move clause, and he is on his way to New York, to Big Apple. Obviously, the Canucks did get some interesting pieces in return for him, so let's talk about the trade. And the trade that also ensued after the first trade. So here we go, these two trades happened in connection to the Vancouver Canucks. First of all, JT Miller on his way to New York, Jackson Dorrington as well with him, and Eric Brandstrom, and to Vancouver the other way around, Philip Chytil, Victor Mancini, and a conditional first round pick in 2025 NHL draft that is top 13 protected. So if it will be in top 13, then again the New York Rangers keep it, but if it won't, then the Vancouver Canucks get it. And then another trade happened, and the Vancouver Canucks used this first round draft pick from the New York Rangers, and they sent it to Pittsburgh Penguins, and they acquired Marcus Pettersson, quite an important piece on defense there, and also Drew O'Connor. And the Pittsburgh got, apart from that conditional first round pick, also some other guys, Denton Heinen, Vincent Derheinen, and Melvin Fernstrom. So these are the two trades. Hello and welcome back, guys. So great to see you again. My name is Paul. This is Paul's Hockey Channel. And today, obviously, we have to be talking about the big news. We have to be talking about the big guy, JT Miller, leaving Vancouver, and he's on his way to New York. This has been a long time coming, guys. We knew about the rift. Actually, Elliotte Friedman reported a number of weeks ago, actually I think 2 weeks ago, that there was a point that JT Miller will not play in a certain game because already there was almost deal was made between Vancouver and New York Rangers, but eventually that deal fell apart. But this time they got it done, they sealed the deal, it's official. JT Miller is on his way to New York Rangers. But I want to talk a little bit in this video about what does this mean for the Vancouver Canucks. Obviously right now all of the attention will be on Elliotte Pettersson, but let's go and rewind a little bit back about what a couple of days ago said the president of hockey operations of Vancouver Canucks, because this was a pretty talked about topic. Jim Rutherford said, I am quoting right now from the page of NHL.com, I felt like for a long time that there was a solution here, because everybody has worked on it, including the parties involved. But it only gets resolved for a short period of time and then it festers again. And so it clearly appears like there is no good solution that would keep this group together. Very strong words there from Jim Rutherford. And yeah, after the Canucks loss this Friday against the Dallas Stars, Pettersson said he didn't want to get into whether trading Miller would allow him to grow into the player he wants to be. But he said, all we can do is look forward. I don't even know what to say. All we can do is look forward. Elliotte Pettersson repeated again, he didn't really want to get into the details of the conflict between him and JT Miller, but apparently it was something big. Apparently it was something big because, like, Rutherford admitted that he just didn't see this group functioning well enough. And I have also, guys, I think it's interesting to point out also to the captain of the Vancouver Canucks, which is Quinn Hughes, and his role in all of this, because Quinn Hughes has been saying that he kind of feels a little bit responsible for what followed with Miller and Pettersson. Hughes kind of said that he feels that he's the captain, obviously, and that he feels it's part of his responsibility to make sure that everything is working well in the locker room. And obviously he didn't manage to kind of make some peace between Elliotte Pettersson and JT Miller, even though it was reported that at the beginning of the season, during the first road trip, there was some, private meeting session between JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, and Quinn Hughes as a captain, but obviously they didn't resolve their issue completely, and again, the conflict was pretty evident, and it was pretty clear that Vancouver Canucks, they just needed to do something. And it was pretty clear. I think last week, Elliot Friedman, or even this past week, Elliot Friedman reported that Elias Pettersson was also very, very close to being traded away from Vancouver. The Vancouver Canucks, they were making everything in order to move one or both of these guys. It's just very unfortunate for me personally, because we all know how good of a team Vancouver was, especially last season in the regular season. They were playing very well, and I feel like there was an optimistic kind of view in the Vancouver Canucks fan base. Guys, you can tell me. I don't live in Vancouver. I don't live even in Canada, so I'm not completely sure on this, but this was kind of the feel I was getting from the media and from the news coming out of Vancouver, that the mood was pretty good around the team, and it was looking really good, actually. JT Miller, when you look at his stats, especially last season for JT Miller, was very, very good. He had over 100 points. This season so far, he had 35 points in 40 games. He has been over point per game player. He has been playing very, very good for the Vancouver Canucks. He had 437 points in 404 regular season games over 6 seasons with Vancouver. He was 11th in the whole NHL in scoring during that span. So yeah, JT Miller playing pretty darn well for Vancouver this season. Obviously didn't go the way the Canucks wanted, didn't go the way the Miller wanted, but right now I would say it's all about Elias Pettersson. It's all about him, if he can really step up and up his game, because he has been struggling a lot this year. It's kind of obvious that he was having some problems with JT Miller in the locker room and all of this off-ice stuff, but right now it's really the time for Elias Pettersson to step up his game, to become the player he's destined to become, and to score some important goals, get the Vancouver Canucks over the playoff line, and eventually get some success in the playoffs. Let's read a little bit from the article in Sportsnet by Ian McIntyre and what he wrote about this trade. I think this passage especially was very, very interesting. The return for Miller is remarkably similar to the components Alvin acquired from the New York Islanders in the Bo Horvat trade almost 2 years ago. Hittil is a center, a slightly better player than former Islander Anthony Beauvillier, but Mancini is probably not quite a prospect that Aatu Räty was when he came to Vancouver. But the key to grading this trade, like the one 2 years ago, will be Pettersson as a payoff for the draft pick. The 28-year-old top 4 defenseman is eligible for unrestricted free agency after this season. But if Pettersson can be re-signed and turns into another Filip Hronek, the defenseman Alvin grabbed from the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for the Islanders pick in 2023, then Vancouver can win the Miller trade too. As the Canucks played the Dallas Stars on Friday night, the loss of Miller left a massive hole in the Vancouver lineup. Of course, everyone is waiting to see if Elias Pettersson steps up his game to help and fill it. These are the words of Ian McIntyre from Sportsnet. I do agree with this generally. I think it will be very important to see how Pettersson, another Pettersson, will play for Vancouver on the back end. Again, Vancouver, I do believe right now they have 3 Petterssons. Poor guys there, poor guys in the commentary booth, play-by-play announcers. I wouldn't really want to call Vancouver games when you have 3 Petterssons in one team, but yeah, I think it will be very interesting to see if the Canucks can persuade Pettersson to extend the contract with them, the 28-year-old defenseman from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Actually, JT Miller, he had a cap hit of $8 million, so they don't retain any of his salary. So I think that's also quite important that the Vancouver Canucks, create a little bit of a cap space there in the place of JT Miller. And let's see how Hittil will play in Vancouver as well. But as it stands right now, I would say it's clear that Elias Pettersson right now, all eyes on him. He really needs to step up his game. And let's look at Elias Pettersson and his stats so far this season. 45 games played, only 11 goals, only 22 assists, 33 points. He's a -5. One of the worst, if not the worst season of his career so far. Really, really poor season from Elias Pettersson. And yeah, I'm just looking for him to bounce back right now. I would say it's all about him, and he must up his game. Quinn Hughes has been playing excellently. He's one of my favorites to win the Hart Trophy again. He's just a great player every single time he's on the ice. The Vancouver Canucks are generating something in the offensive zone. Elias Pettersson has been the problem so far. He needs to step up his game, and right now it's clearly his time as JT Miller is out of town and into New York. And when we look at Vancouver and their standings, they have been playing pretty better recently, and they have 56 points. So currently they are just 1 point below the playoff line, just 1 point behind Calgary Flames, and just 2 points behind the third place Los Angeles Kings in the Pacific. So that's pretty darn good. They are definitely not far away from the playoffs. They are very close to be in the playoffs, and yeah, let's see what happens in Vancouver. They have won 3 games in a row these past couple of days. They have beat Washington, St. Louis on Monday, also Nashville on Wednesday, but on Friday it was a loss against the Dallas Stars. But overall, yeah, tell me guys your thoughts in the comment section below. I think this needed to happen. Jim Rutherford has said it, has admitted it publicly, that something needed to be done to this roster. Eventually it would be either Pettersson or JT Miller. It is JT Miller going to New York Rangers, and right now I would expect that the atmosphere inside the locker room of Vancouver Canucks would kind of, calm down a little bit. It would be more positive, and hopefully Elias Pettersson can pick up his game, and hopefully the Canucks can make a good run, make it to the playoffs, and in the playoffs, well, anything can happen, right? So guys, overall, I think a pretty good move by the Canucks. Again, they got some good defensemen there, Pettersson, and also Philip Heatil, some other pieces, Mancini as well. Let's see how well he will play in the next couple of years. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, if you haven't subscribed, guys, please consider to subscribe. And right now, my old friend Dave, it's his turn as always at the end of the video. Dave, take it from here.
This video was brought to you by Paul's Hockey Channel, your trusted source of NHL news. Subscribe and turn on notifications bell in order not to miss future uploads. Enjoy the content and stay safe.